Hello mate, is my stinky petrol generator disturbing you? No, it's fine, doesn't bother me whatsoever, you carry on, you need power, that's alright, I'm looking for frogs. Okay, good to know. So yeah, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. This video is all about the positives and negatives. I don't want to say negatives, but the good and the bad. I don't even want to say bad. The good and not so good aspects of van life. Number one for me, compared to living in a house to living in a van, I spend a lot of time getting power, getting water, doing the toilet, cleaning. Like today, for instance, we've run out of gas. We've run out of cooking gas as well. So I've had to, and I had to put petrol in the van as well. So I've had to go to the petrol station, put petrol in the van. Our diesel heater's running low, so I have to go get some diesel. We've got no cooking canisters for our portable cooker that we use, so I had to get some of those. And I've had to get a new 15k Caligas bottle for our hot water. And it's took me a whopping 2.5 hours so far. And that's without doing water and without worrying about our power situation. So that's a big thing for me. When you're in a house, it's all, you take it all for granted. You've got endless amounts of water, endless amounts of power and stuff like that. The girl has heat. Oh, good morning, Tube Stars. Lovely. Getting into winter now, freezing in the mornings and at night time, but not in here. Toasty, toasty warm. I know a few people, especially my family, are concerned about what it's going to be like in the winter in the van, or how you're going to keep warm and stuff. I say it is boiling in here because we have the diesel heater, which is awesome. Just installed one into Harley's van, as you've just seen. Temperature is 21 degrees. So it's lovely, lovely and warm. Little hack I've done on my heater, I'm going to show you. Looks weird. I've put a T-junction on there. Don't know if you can see that. The lighting is not very good because it's dark outside. Where the vent was, because there was a vent there and it was pointing out, even though it's direct, you can direct it like that. It was hitting the fridge. And heating the fridge up and blowing hot air all in and around the fridge, which was making the fridge work really hard and using more electricity. Ooh, coffee's ready. Coffee's ready, kettle's ready. So I put that little T-junction, and now what's happening is air's blowing that way and blowing this way in the van. What we have noticed already is that the van heats up really well, front and back. It's warm, you know, across the whole van. Instead of just being warm in that area and then a little bit chilly over here, it's warm everywhere. It's really nice, and it heats up hotter. I think the hottest I've had it in here is about 22 degrees. We got it up to 25 degrees. Baking it was in here. So it's working more efficiently like that. Because Mrs. H wants to have, she wanted to have like a vent in her bathroom here, somewhere in the shower. So we could dry stuff in the shower, hang stuff up, you know, and dry stuff. But there's nowhere I can run the pipe internally anyway. And there's nowhere to put a vent. The only wall is down there, but that's outside. That's an outside wall because you've got a cupboard here, shower there. I mean, and it's like, there's nowhere for it to run it. So what I was thinking is I could have an external one, not obviously a permanent fix, but if she wanted to dry something, I could just connect it to there. We could run a pipe in there, and then you could blow hot air into there to dry stuff, and then put it away when you're done. As an alternative, if there's lots of washing to dry, that's something we could possibly do. Right, so off to Ditchling Road today. It's stream day because it's Tuesday. I'm going to be on Twitch at 10 o'clock. Singing and playing music in all kinds of genres, And yeah, I invite you over, link in the description, download the app, it's free, it's good fun. And I think Harley's going to come up there later and meet us, and she's going to do one this evening. She's having problems, more problems. Poor Harley. She's now got water leaks in her van. Just never ends with Harley's van. Adequately or appropriately called Hope, her van is. No hope. Anyway, so that's got to be sorted out. Her boyfriend's helping her with that. Bless his little heart. Which neatly brings me on to another plus and minus. I don't want to say that either. Comparison to living in a house. Now, I know all houses are different and all vans are different, etc, etc. But the house we used to live in was freezing. We would put the heating on in the winter and still have to wrap ourselves up in blankets if we were sat there watching TV and stuff like that. It was awful, and it would cost an absolute fortune in gas and electricity and stuff like that. So on that side of things, this van wins. It's like toasty warm within 10 minutes putting the diesel heater on. The diesel heater has a 10-litre tank, which costs at the moment about £16 to fill that up, and that will last, if I have the heating on, say 3 hours in the evening, maybe 4 hours in the evening, maybe an hour or two in the morning, that will last anywhere between 10 and 14 days. So very, very, very cost effective to heat the van, and it is lovely in here. Much better. The van wins on that one for the heating and for the cost. And obviously electricity, well, we're getting a lot of the time we're getting free electricity because we're getting solar power. We're getting electricity off the engine when we're driving, so that's kind of like I wouldn't say it's free, but you've got to drive somewhere anyway, so you're getting some extra electricity there. And I've got the petrol generator, which charges my EcoFlow, and that costs £1 to charge that up, and that EcoFlow will run the van all day. So £1 to run the van all day. For cooking gas, we use usually the camp stove, the portable stove, most of the time. Because I put an induction hob in, we don't really use that off grid because it's very, very, very power hungry. We use that when we're on campsites and things like that. But that lasts, we use about 4 to 5 canisters, gas canisters a week. And at the moment, Blacks is doing a deal on them where you get 4 for £10. So that's like £10–12 a week for the cooking gas, which isn't horrendous. And I've just got a new Caligas bottle, 15k Caligas bottle. That lasted 4 months. That was £60. That lasted us 4 months, and that does all our hot water. So yeah, not bad at all. So in comparison to a house, the bills are way cheaper. Way cheaper. And it's more comfortable because we're not having to sit here with a blanket on around us with the heating on at the same time. Having said all that, there is a convenience issue. I spend a lot of time running around like I did yesterday, going to shops, buying gas bottles, getting gas bottles from there, putting the Jenny on, going and getting petrol in a jerry can, going and getting diesel in a jerry can, going and finding water to put water in the van. Spend a lot of time doing that, and water especially is a daily thing, and electricity is a daily thing. I have to make sure that the EcoFlow is charged at least twice. So if I take it to a gig or take it to a coffee shop or something like that and charge it up, then I've got to do that, or I've got to stick the Jenny on for an hour and do that. So it all takes time. Whereas in the house, you just flick a switch, you got electricity, you just run the tap, you got water, you put the heating on, you put the hot water on, you got it. It takes seconds. Obviously it costs you a lot more for that. Doing the van life way, you're kind of paying for everything up front. So on a plus side, you don't get any bills, but you have to make sure you have money to buy the stuff up front, if that makes sense. So, you know, the convenience thing, house wins, because it is a lot more convenient and a lot more time saving living in a house. Another top tip with these, which I didn't realise, I know a lot of you probably do realise, is when they get low, like this one is, and the flame goes down, we've been throwing them away even though there's a little bit of gas in them, but if you give them a good old good shake and then put them back in, you get to use what's left in the bottom of the can. So we've been throwing them away prematurely, because as soon as the flames start to die down, I was like, that's it, that's gone, throw it away. Give it a good old shake, Shake it up, baby. Rightio, so we're off to another campsite tonight because Tracy's got a bonus day off work. It's Thursday, so it gives her a bit of a long weekend. We don't need to go to a campsite other than we just want to. We're good for power these days and all that kind of stuff. So it brings us on to another thing. Van life opposed to home life, house life. That's the thing. Where you park up, where you're going. And you spend a lot of time. Well, we've got our little routine now, so we know we can go there, we can go here, we can go there, and we know we've got our little circular park ups that we use, which is cool. Depending on where Tracy is working and where I'm working and things like that, it all works really well. We know that the Ditchley Road park up is great for internet, good for streaming because the internet's so good and you can make loads of noise and I can run the generator and all those things without annoying anyone. But obviously, if you've got a house, you live in a house, then you've got your house and it's in that place and that's it, and that's where you choose to be. It's probably is a house more secure? I'm not sure, because I have got a lot of security features in place on this van. I could add more, I probably will. More security than I ever had on a house, that's for sure. I've got CCTV all around, I've got a tracking device, all that stuff, steering locks, and I've put, clutch lock on and locks on the door and deadbolts, and so it is pretty secure, probably more than a house ever was. With that in mind, I'm just looking at the fuel. This vehicle, this is an older van. The newer ones will do better, but we get about 18 miles per gallon. It's petrol. It's a 2 litre petrol, just a straight, 8 valve Najobi. A little underpowered, I feel, for the size of the van. 6.5 metre long motorhome. It doesn't like the hills. It's alright on the flat, no problem. It actually not bad at all. But as soon as you get on a hill, you've had it. You're down to like crawling. Sometimes I'm down to 10 miles an hour first gear, getting up a hill if it's steep enough. So yeah, that annoys people. But I'm in no hurry to get anywhere. The petrol costs. I mean, we're not exactly like touring around and like sightseeing and stuff like that. We're just like basically going to different places, which is convenient for work, and we know we can park and stuff like that. But spending probably about £300 a month on fuel just in the van. I do run a car as well, and Tracy runs a car. I have to run a car because I do gigs and I need something to put my gear in. I can't drive this to gigs. Often there's nowhere to park a motorhome. Lots of venues don't even have car parks and stuff, so it's just not practical. And I can't keep the gear in the van, there's no space for it. So the ultimate goal, or the end goal with that, is to get rid of both the cars and have a small van, like a Berlingo or something like that, which we can put the gear in and Tracy can drive it, so it's not too big for her to take to work and stuff like that. But that's going to be a lot later. Static house, or house life, our rent was £13.50 a month. Most of the time we park up for free, and even if we do have to pay, which sometimes we do, depends on where we are, it's usually only like £5 for the day or something like that. If we do a campsite like we are today, I think this one's £23 a day, but then that's offset a little bit because we get fresh water, we get free electricity, and we can get to do our toilet and all that stuff. So with the free electricity, it's pretty good. So yeah, £300 a month on fuel. I'd say add maybe another £100 a month for parking and the odd campsite in there, and that's being generous. £400 a month as opposed to £1,300 a month. So on the cost level, then it's a winner, obviously. Pardon me, but it's what you prefer, Mrs. H will tell you what she prefers. We don't miss a house. A lot of people are like, I can't live in a van, I couldn't live in a van, it's too small. What do you do about this? What do you do about that? We've got everything in here. Everything that we had in a house, we have in here. I know Mrs. H does moan a little bit about the kitchen setup. I maybe need to put a gas hob in. I think I might do that. I don't know yet, but we were definitely looking at getting like a double portable gas burner, because we've only got one. It's a bit of a pain. because the induction hob is just really a no-go off-grid. If you're going to be an off-gridder, don't do an induction hob. Unless you've got a really, really substantial power set, which we have now, but it's still, even then, it's, you know. What I do find as well is I'm constantly repairing things. Things break a lot. Only silly things usually, because your house is on the back of a van, and it's like your house is going through an earthquake every time you drive it anywhere. So things do work loose, break. You know, it is. But then you get that in houses anyway. It's like Harley's just had a problem with her boiler. It sprung a leak on a couple of the elbow joints, and one of the drain off valve was leaking, which her boyfriend discovered, and that ended up flooding her living room slightly. But this happens in houses as well, so you know, only costs 40 quid for the parts to fix the boiler. Not a massive problem. Hello, mate. Are you stuck? Can you not move? You look like you want to hurt me. Alright, people in Tube Land. This is a new little hack I've done. Cost 10 quid. Turned our bathroom into a drying room. Check it out. Hose off of for a tumble dryer off of the diesel outlet, goes all the way into the bathroom, and then we can stick a clothes horse in there. Our door, although it doesn't completely shut, we can do that. We have yet to try it out, but I reckon it will help dry towels and things like that on the clothes horse. Bingo mass, and then it folds up to this small. Look at this. Look at that. And that can just go in the drawer somewhere. Where I'm not allowed to put in there. Where I'm not allowed to put the snack drawer. I'm going to snack drawer. No, I can't fit in there. Somewhere where I'm not allowed to put it. Mrs. H will tell me where to put it. She usually does. There you go. There's a little space there. Brilliant. That noise you can hear, by the way, is the petrol generator. We're just charging up flow before we head down to the park up. I'm up at a lay-by side of the road. Lay-by side of the road. Getting some juice before we settle down for the evening. So yeah, we'll report back on that one when we've used it. Yeah, didn't work. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you later.